I guess technically we're doing the news, but I was like, oh my goodness, what does the old stuff look like? Let's go down the propaganda rabbit hole. How are we influenced? By behaviors? What did they hide? Because back in the day, and as you can tell from this, from the 80's, not people weren't online. You had to interact in a very personable level, which meant people were pretty fluent in body language. They were still subject and manipulated, but they had a much better grasp on body language. And since we look at today's news and we go, what in the actual hell is going on? Like, are they dumb? Are they stupid? Was it better back in the day? Were they smarter back in the day? We'll say they had more control back in the day. Now, we will not be watching this verbatim. We're going to do a lot of skipping through. We're just looking for behaviors in the propaganda.
Got some big news breaking on the coal strike that'll come up?
Yeah, we'll have a complete report at 6 o'clock. Emery King is downstate in Illinois, and he says that the largest local coal mining union down there has approved the new pact.
For all you J.D. Vance crazies who forgot that he was a never-Trumper, there's another man wearing eyeliner. So they did makeup, obviously, all over the place, for those of you who didn't think that they did back then. Now, they've set it up to where these two guys are doing, I guess you could say, a commercial for the cable news network for the highlights for 6 o'clock. So they have staged this little interaction. So it seems more personable to you, and you want to come in and check out the news.
Offered by the coal industry. So we'll find out how that's going, that voting across the nation as well as throughout southern Illinois on our 6 o'clock report. Bill Curtis follows up his special report, Agent Orange, Vietnam's deadly fog, examining the effects on...
You're also noticing here in this as well, he's obviously reading from paper. He looks down, he reads. He looks up at the camera to sit there and read out to you. Now, the tech at the time, they did have screens that they could read, but this is much more personable. He's reading you the highlights that they're going to give you, which brings down the barrier of your trust tolerance. Oh, he's actually just reading. He's talking to me like he's got something to say, blah, 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 blah. I will say, I think they were smarter back in the day.
Veterans of defoliants used in the war. And since that special aired last night, several local congressmen have called for a full-scale investigation of Agent Orange. We'll also see some Chicago grandmothers who are eagerly awaiting Easter and the traditional Easter bonnet parade. And science editor Roger Field reports on new evidence.
I kid you not, I just had a thought here. It kind of reminds me of Alex Jones when Alex Jones brings out all of his papers to read. He prints them all out and he reads them to you. I actually like that method. I like this method. One, because you know the person is reading you. It's much more personable. Yes, it does bring down the barrier, but at least I know that I'm getting manipulated.
Authenticating the Shroud of Turin, said to be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ.
It's half hour from now. All of that and more right after the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite from New York. Thank you for joining us. Have a nice weekend. Happy Easter.
That's actually really cool too. So they pull the camera back and now you can see the other camera that's there. That's how big these machines were back in the day. And you see them take off their little microphones and whatever the little giant thing that allows them to talk to you and it sound good. And he goes away. And the other one's just kind of stuck there. I'm assuming waiting for when his next bit is to be. He's not done.
Good evening. There aren't any substantial overall returns on the coal union balloting today, but some of the toughest locals are voting to go back to work, and partial unofficial vote counts compiled by News.
So here's old Walter, and he's doing the same thing. He's reading from paper. It's not that they didn't have the tech, but paper was like the go-to response. That looked real. It's like newspapers. It was the standard of the day. I guess you could say up until very recently, at least in my old life, they still had paper on the desk for many, many decades. My goodness, I think the last time I saw paper on the desk that I actually watched a news report, was it 2014? Somewhere in that. Maybe somewhere they still have paper on the desk. But you can tell these days they don't actually read from the paper, unlike Walter over here and the last guy. They look down at their notes and then they look at you. Look down at their notes and then they look at you.
News services show a sizable trend toward ratification. More from Barry Seraphin in Washington.
The results of the voting were phoned in to the union's headquarters here in Washington, and reporters waited through the day here at a nearby hotel for those results to be posted on a blackboard. But the returns were not disclosed. Unofficial returns indicated the voting was close this time. Some reports indicated this contract would be ratified. This evening, Union President Arnold Miller said he was not ready to call the vote, but with half of the votes in, those in favor of the contract held a substantial margin over those against. Miller was asked why he was withholding the results.
We did not give any numbers because last time that we did that, they were distorted and it was used to hype up the totals, and we decided that to ensure that the membership of this union would have a right to vote without being influenced by a negative or a positive.
I was kind of letting this play through because I was like, oh, this is just so cool. You guys remember the whole union bosses back then versus the union bosses today? And if you don't, let's have a little refresher course. So we've done the union bosses of today, and they are loud, they're boisterous, they're extremely flashy. They love to sit there and wear their expensive jewelry. And the idea of seeing these men as moral, level-headed, non-boisterous is definitely not today's standard. Whereas you see this guy, and even though this is a small clip, he seems to be wearing a standard suit. He's dressed nicely. He's clean. He's not wearing jewelry. And he's speaking softly. He's giving good eye contact. He's not waving his arms in the air. And he's giving you the bare facts.
Of attitude that we would withhold the numbers until we were certain that the contract was ratified.
Mr. Miller, sir.
And it's working very well.
So it's not like there wasn't no deception that way. And it's working very well. You see him kind of turn away. He's done. He's ready to go away. And back in the day, the standard was you didn't get the aha moments. You got just the news. I tell you what, the manipulation tactics were way less. I'm seeing less of it. There's a lot of staging. It is a production. But the manipulation tactics are small. If anything, the manipulation is I'm a much more higher production corporation than I really am, kind of thing. So they cut the video out. You're not going to watch the guy walk away or the insane comments that are thrown back at him afterwards, because that was not considered professional back in the day. So you cut it off, so you didn't see any of that. Whereas today, it's the, aha, I gotcha. I'm throwing questions at you that you don't like. There's pluses and minuses to that, don't get me wrong.
Miller said that voting returns will be disclosed later this evening and indicated he believes the vote this time will be yes. Barry Seraphin, CBS News, Washington.
And that's all you got. They're having a vote. It wasn't like today's standards of we've got these craziness things going. I mean, this was a big deal, guys. We're talking about power and electric plants back then. This was not something you want to play around with. But you see the low key in it? No one's freaking out. There's no emotional tension in the words as they're speaking. Everyone on the audience side knows the stakes. It did not have to be verbalized or screaming or emotional tension words for you to understand that. And they didn't use that in the news. It's just clean cut. I tell you what, if we had news back like this again, I might watch the damn news.
At many of the union halls where miners voted, it was clear that the mood had changed since the overwhelming rejection of the last contract offer 3 weeks ago. We have reports from Martha Teichner and Bruce Hall.
The 223 men of Local 1759 in Chesapeake, West Virginia, voted not quite 2-1 against the last contract proposal. Today they didn't hesitate as they stopped to mark their ballots. For a week, Dave Forms, president of the Local, has been telling the men to vote no when he announced the results. The vote was the reverse of last time, not quite 2-1 in favor.
Okay, guys. 114 people voted. We had 75 yeses, 39 noes. You'll be hearing something pretty soon.
Only about half.
There you go. Isn't that crazy how it was? Even the union voting. You could watch them vote. The cameras are right there. That guy, as you heard, was not happy about the vote. He wanted it to be no. He reads it and throws the thing down. All right, guys, XYZ voted. 75 of you said yes. And he threw it because he's not happy about the vote. Nobody verbalized that. No one goes, it's obvious that he was not very happy about it. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go down that rabbit hole. Your audience could see it. You didn't need to be emotionally manipulated into hating more. You knew it. And that's what I'm leaving you with today. Just think about how so much has changed and where it used to be and how people used to behave. May the Lord bless you and keep you. In Jesus' name.